are a lot of Hello, and there are a lot of participants who would like to join the meeting, but unfortunately, due to some reasons which are disruptive of our infrastructure, they couldn't join us. But actually, really interesting for all our cluster lines and all our participants to hear more about your organization, about your network. And definitely we are really interested to not just to sign a memorandum and not send it, but definitely to be your reliable partners for future projects and for future cooperation. Thank you so much for joining the meeting, and actually I also would like to present Alexandra Yurchak, who is the head of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance, and you know that we at the beginning we planned to have a meeting and European cluster conference between automotive cluster and your network, and then I switched to Elena. With APAO and you, but then I realized, and actually it's definitely should be partnership between Ukrainian Cluster Alliance, not between one cluster to another, but between our alliance and your networks, because it's a really big honor and very, very important for us.
Thank you for the nice introduction. It's also good for me to see you again and to explore what we can do together in the future. So, Alexandra, so you're the head of UCA, and yes. We have other clusters involved as well today, or is it?
Well, cluster of Olga, you know, is automotive. We have Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Vitaly tries to join us. I don't know who is Vitaly, but well, let's say we have two clusters here. And knowing that, well, APAO, Association of Industrial Automation of Ukraine, we lead, let's say, pool of cluster. We have about 9 cluster of in the area engineering, automation, machinery, also aerospace. So, well, we can say that somehow APAO can represent them as well. Anyway, we disseminate information through all cluster of UCA. So
very good. So how should we proceed? I have extended a little the presentation from last time.
Super. Maybe we will wait still maybe 2 minutes, because again, that most of Ukrainian cities are right now without electricity, and we have such a problems right now. But they're really interested, and that's why I put into recording to show and to share between all our participants. Yeah, there are more people who are joining us.
So you're now in Kiev, or where are you?
I'm in Kiev. Yeah, my colleagues as well. Yeah, we are in Kiev. I think because I looked through your presentation, so it's interesting, but maybe not everybody knows my colleagues. Yeah, maybe you can just briefly go through your the same presentation just to explain.
Yeah, we're just waiting maybe 1 minute more. It's exactly why we organize this meeting, because definitely to identify possibilities, we should know maybe a bit more each other. Actually, Alexander, maybe we also will make a short presentation of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance for Peter, because we of course, me and Olena, we talked about it, but maybe you could also open and some minutes overview about us, about our last last news, because every day we have so many news, and every week we participate in some kind of events or
I think you're very busy.
To build our future now. So
no problem. I will just briefly.
Thank you, Alexander.
Do you know the Ukrainian Pellet Association?
Pellets?
For wood pellets for heating.
Yeah, we know like the name, but me personally, I don't know people.
Yes, because once upon a time I was working in Brussels for the European Biomass Association. Nowadays it's called European Bioenergy.
Yeah.
And so I was leading the European Pellet Council. And
Wow.
there was also a association based of national pellet associations. And yes, I included the Ukrainian Pellet Association in order to join the network and to participate in our certification program. So it was quite interesting. That's the last time I guess I was in Kiev.
Okay.
Super. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, just briefly about waiting as a people. You know, in fact, the main challenge we consider in the Ukraine Cluster Alliance how to be resilient. You know, because well, it's obvious for this time this narrative or this question how to be resilient, and typically, well, one of the way it's really to consolidate people, to consolidate cluster, and also to consolidate professionals through Europe, through all our partners who support Ukraine. And well, when we do this, let's say more detailed decomposition, of course, the number one challenge is about how to get more order, because internal market it was decreased in times, and typically our answer is to launch a strong industrialization program, integration into global value chain, European value chain. So that's why we Solga work a lot on that. We propose it to our government special program of export internationalization, and we
Alexander,
do a lot.
we see only the slide professionals for Ukraine. So if you change it, we don't see it. Sorry for interrupting.
It's strange because I
understand that you are talking maybe about next slide, but this is only for one. Thank you.
Yeah. And well, I was on this slide that we typically ask periodically our clusters about their needs, their challenges, but this, let's say, there are some change of priority after from 2 to 5, but there is always the number one. It's how to get new orders, new jobs, and this challenge is even more. Is higher now because we have new challenge or new obstacle of this disruption of electricity, rolling blackout. It's really difficult even to maintain people, maintain staff, and to continue keep working like before. That's why, of course, we push our government to create special program of support, like state orders inside of the country, but also support our internationalization program. And of course, we do a lot of things ourselves, just consolidating our clusters. Especially Olga is our director of export installation program, and she's number one, visiting, I don't know, maybe every week, visiting some meeting through Europe. And of course it's thanks to her, because for me, for example, for many in Ukraine, it's even a big problem to go abroad. We have it's like forbidden, it's really special procedure how to come out of Ukraine. It's really a bit crazy, all that, but anyway, we try to combine all this online, offline, different kind of. We participate in program like Horizon and other. Well, just some picture about our manifestation in Europe. This is Prague. I think what is important is that in fact, there are internal discussion in Ukraine how to go international and let's say which kind of flag or slogan or narrative, because we hear, let's say, we have even campaign from our state bodies like Buy Ukrainian, or even here Invest to Ukraine. Even it looks a bit exaggerated, right? it depends, because when we are talking about agricultural product, why not? And we want to replace, let's say, Russian or Belarusian product in German workshop, shops, supermarket, why not? It can work. But when we are talking about industrial high-tech product like yours, it's maybe our challenges and narrative are a bit different. We are talking about how to save, our industrial innovative ecosystems. And here strategic option is rather to go together into new program, maybe to found new program at the level of European Union. Talking about survive, we have a lot of, let's say, panel builder, integrator, which use product like yours, power electronics. And the idea is to to help them to survive, maybe to give orders and close gap in value chain in many. And typically they are consumer of power electronics. We have many panel builders, many system integrators, engineering companies, because so it's the idea to help survive them to placing subcontracting, different kind of. Can be collaboration, and we need it's rather about look to the future to understand what industry will be the more interesting from the point of investment or recovering. So it's a recovery program, and here is also a big challenge, because many players start to prepare this project for recovery of Ukraine. Typically, of course, we are talking about building, infrastructure, energy, but of course about manufacturing. So we start to combine this option going international, and we try to, let's say, to go in, we call that like bilateral agenda. For example, we signed such kind of MOU with Czech Republic, where there are 4 partners like Cluster of Industry 4.0, Smart Regions, Cybersecurity Hub, also Czech Inno, and so on. So when we sign the memorandum, we start to think about the future, what action we can undertake. Just considering opportunity, some challenges, challenges, opportunity, both sides, on the European side and also in Ukraine, because we believe that after the war, Ukraine will really, we will survive big recovery, because of course we have many regions we should recover, building infrastructure, energy, also plants, and so on. And our government work already in this program. There are different version of this national program, because there was 2 big presentation in Lugano in Switzerland, and another one in October in Berlin. But anyway, it's we're talking about really big project and big money. So from our side, we prepare to that generating initiative inside of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance. We have such document called Top 10 Proposal. It covers, let's say, initiative from it's the next slide. It's different kind. It's developing digital innovation hub, or can be accelerator, incubator, outsourcing. What is important for us today is outsourcing in industrial engineering. It's optional, like survive, and many other. So we have teams prepared, which prepares the project for each direction. And the idea is to be aligned with, of course, this national program, with big investment, which already our government talks with other country, with investor, with worldwide. This is like we have several tools supporting this project. For example, for outsourcing, we have, it's all a bit old picture, but anyway, you can easily choose integrator when you're looking free resources in Ukraine, some free engineer, working different kind of manufacturer, and knowing different kind of software and so on. So it's like one of key direction for us to promote it. I think this is briefly also what we plan with the level of European collaboration. It's building such bilateral, multilateral agenda So it can be done with the level of country, but also with industry. Why not? Yeah, it will be first Ukrainian conference in Slovakia next year. And what is important for us is really to start exchange around industrial policy and program. Yeah, because we really want to push our government to, you know, to go rather for into manufacturing sector and more yeah, something to manufacture something in Ukraine with good added value.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is briefly about what we do and our priority.
Lots of work to be done.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, thank you, Alexander. And then I think actually it's only one-tenth of everything which we did during this last
Right.
8 months. Just not possible to put everything on slides,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
main messages for sure.
Excellent.
Okay. So thank you, Alexander. So I think, Peter, if you, of course, if you have any questions right now, we could discuss it, and if not, I think we will be happy to see your presentation and then discuss some possibilities.
Yeah, I guess it's good. I show the presentation first, and then we see where we overlap in our goals and where we can help out, maybe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just share my screen. Okay. All right, now you should see my screen. Good. So, as you've probably seen before, I do not only represent the cluster for power electronics, which is located in Bavaria, but also European Network, European Center for Power Electronics. And we are, both these organizations have one set of staff located here in Nuremberg in northern Bavaria. So what I have on the agenda today, I want to quickly go through the role of power electronics, then go to our activities on local and international level, then show what kind of events we do, especially this kind of training courses for engineers. Then one possibility where universities and research institutes can participate from our own funding scheme, this joint research program. And then the international projects that I personally am responsible for, and then we can discuss where the best cooperation points are. Okay, so power electronics, just a brief introduction, goes from very small energy in a watt range, where you charge your phone, your laptop, up to a kilowatt range where you charge your car or something like this, up to the grid, the electricity grid, where one form of electricity is transformed into another. So this kind of power conversion is what we are all about. Here I have something very recent. We just published a position paper, the All Electric Society, pointing out the importance of power electronics and where there are a lot of efficiency gains in all kinds of sectors. So you can find it on our website. So this is the team. We're like 10, 11 people working in Nuremberg here. Bavaria is the southeast of Germany, very, very strong in all kinds of industry, and probably best known for automotive, like BMW is from Munich. And then the power electronics cluster is industry-led, same as the ECPE. So the companies are the main members of both organizations, but we also include the research network from university and research centers. And I am the internationalization responsible for the cluster side. And as you see, as we already have a big European network, I normally look also beyond Europe for example, Africa or Asia, but also in European countries where we're not yet active. So Ukraine qualifies for that. Okay, so what we're doing, so we're the one voice for power electronics in Europe, and we have three pillars where we base our work on. So the most important one is the pre-competitive research that we do on power electronics. So this is something where all the industry partners, they can still talk to each other and figure out where the technology needs improvement. And it's still one step away from the market, so they do not need to keep everything to themselves, and they can still talk to each other. And there we have, as power electronics is very broad spectrum, so we have lots of research to be done for materials, for grids, for different applications, for energy generation or energy transmission. So a lot of different topics to be covered, and we do that also through project work in European projects or nationally funded projects. But this we normally do more on the cluster side, because on the European side we normally just inform our members which kind of funding schemes are interesting for them, and the big players being Siemens or Infineon or the automotive companies, they're well prepared to participate anyway. They don't need so much our help. Okay, the second pillar is the events that we organize. So this is expert workshops or advanced trainings like tutorials for young engineers. I will go more into detail a little later on. And the last one, this is where, for example, this position paper comes into play, where we educate politicians and the general public what is power electronics and why it is so important, and how we can help addressing big issues like climate change, and also get more young people to go in the right direction and study electrical engineering, for example. Okay, member companies on European level, so the who is who of bigger companies in Europe, but also foreign companies, for example, from Japan here, Rome or Toyota, or Denso. The main point is that they have to have a research or a manufacturing presence in Europe. So this is our goal. That's why we don't have any Chinese companies, for example. They always want to participate, but we say no. If you just sell your products in Europe, it's not good enough. You have to do some more, just some research or some manufacturing. Competence centers, that's what I mentioned. It's universities and research centers. They are also part of the network, but they do not need to pay any membership fee. So the companies, they actually pay some yearly membership fee, and the competence centers, they can participate free of charge, and just add their expertise to the network. Here's some examples for our events. For example, here, what did we do? New technologies for transformers, or some special topics about humidity and how this is affecting the lifetime of power electronics, and also more general topics. For example, power electronics in e-mobility or in energy generation. So very different topics, and these kind of workshops, they always go into detail in one particular topic. And for the more basic skills for power electronics, we have these tutorials. So it's like advanced training where young engineers are taught not only basic power electronics, but this also goes into details, here thermal engineering, for example, or power circuits, packaging, yeah. But this is like a more classroom atmosphere with like 30 people, and these topics are recurring. So we have also a nice brochure that explain all of the topics that we cover. So you can have a look at this kind of brochure, and maybe your members, they're interested to participate in some of the courses, and we can discuss later on if they can do it for free or for a reduced fee, for example. And some of them are taught online, and some of them are in presence. So this is also changing sometimes. So we have to see from case to case. Thanks to Corona outbreak, we switched a lot of them to online, but nowadays we're coming back to presence again. But yeah, and this is something I haven't told you before. ECPE joint research program. So especially our larger companies, they can participate in this program, and they pay some special fee. At the moment it's 40,000 euro per year into a common pool, and then they decide on the topics that the competence centers, which we call our universities and the research centers, competence centers, what kind of projects they should carry out. So the idea from the projects can either come from industry or from the universities themselves. Then the industry decides, oh, this is a nice topic, we should fund it, and then we do an ECPE project out of it. So this is a very, very good way for the industry to get quick results for some pressing topics for them, and it's a good also a good source of income and funding opportunity for the universities, and so everybody profits from this kind of cooperation. And then when the project is done, the results are shared equally among all the members, the industry members. And then if it's a very interesting outcome, then they can go on bilaterally, or we can also do a follow-up project. So this is has been very very successful, and we do like 10 or 20 projects every year in a from small just like literature studies, maybe 10,000 euro, up to larger projects of 100,000 euro, something like that. So I guess once or twice a year we have this call for proposals, and there we put in some topics of interest for the industry, and then the universities, they can submit a short abstract, and then we can discuss it. So I'm not really involved in this program, but I can, my colleagues are handling that. Okay, just some example from our here German Research Institute, that they developed a very fast switching inverter with a new this kind of wide bandgap material, where you can have higher efficiency and smaller size. Just not all the time we get a nice demonstrator out of it, but this time to show from our joint research program. Okay, now I come to switch back to the cluster side, so to the Bavarian side, where I'm managing some projects. This is the one where we work together with Sub-Saharan Africa to strengthen the local energy supply. And this is a European project with other clusters from Italy, France, Spain, and ourselves. And here is especially addressing renewable energy, smart grids, energy storage, and everything that comes with it, smart metering, or anything together with energy. And so we have targeted here five countries in Africa: Senegal, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. And this is like not our typical project that we do, because this is very close to the market, because we try to help European, especially SMEs, so small companies, to go to African markets and to work together with local partners to sell the services and their goods in Africa. And we do the kind of networking part. We bring the parties together, and we show them to help them get a clear picture of the local situation. What's the economy like? What kind of energy supply they have already? What's the policy framework, and so on and so forth. And in March we organized the next meeting, where we bring the European and the African players together. This is in Gijón in Spain, northern Spain. You can participate for free, and we bring together European stakeholders and African stakeholders, and show some examples where it's working nicely, and European companies are successful in Africa. And if you have no idea what it is all about, you can check out the summary of our first networking event we had in Lille in September this year. So I put a link in here. Okay, then here I will go very quickly. This is something that it's more usual for us. It's more on the research side. This was the wide bandgap cooperation with Japan. Wide bandgap is referring to this new type of semiconductor material. It's not based on silicon, but silicon carbide and gallium nitride. So we had some partners from Japan, and we thought that this is a good topic. So this was funded by the German Ministry of Education and Research. So we started with some roadmap discussion meetings, and we organized a new training program that is running ever since. So it's running for 6 years already. It's wide bandgap user training, did some workshops, that even had a common book project. And then in the second phase, in the implementation phase, we also had common research projects with Japanese companies for the different topics. This one was more on the application side, the DC breaker, like an electronic breaker instead of a mechanical breaker for DC networks. And the ISOGAP was insulation material for power electronics capable of higher temperatures. Okay, then to sum up, you can find more information on the ECPE website, and also on the cluster website. We have special parts also in English. This cluster.de/international, or you can look for the Union Jack on our website, find some English information. Otherwise, the cluster side is in German only, I'm afraid. Okay, so up to my original thinking, what we can offer is on the one side from the cluster side, on the Bavarian or German level, this cooperation in funding projects like Horizon or COSME, this program for cluster organizations. Then we can, of course, sign an MOU, and you're always welcome to participate to our events. And the one for the African cooperation, that's in English, so that's I wanted to point out here. And the good thing on the ECPE side is that we have more English-speaking events, and there we could offer like a reduced membership for companies, and the membership for universities and research centers is free anyway. but would be good if they're interested in power electronics and active there. And those research organizations can also participate in the joint research program. And then, yeah, we have this kind of big catalog of events that you could participate. Some of them online, but some of them are on site, so maybe harder to participate there. But we always try nowadays to have our workshops as a hybrid event, so it's easier to participate online as well. And yeah, this is my short presentation. Any questions?
So, in fact, just better understand. So you are based in Bavaria, but you unite, or you just a part of the European network of.
No, this is our network.
Okay.
So this was funded in 2003. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, it was more centered on Germany, because there were large German players that made the initial. Mm-hmm. Efforts to found this European network, but now we have members from all over Europe, and maybe with a little okay. Bias for Germany, but yes, we run both these networks, the same team, the same managing director. Mm-hmm. We run this out of Nuremberg, because Nuremberg and the Munich area is the center of power electronics in Germany and also in Europe. That's why we're also situated here and not in Berlin or in Brussels.
Mm-hmm. And what is typical? I saw that you have a big company, big brand like ABB.
Yes.
But do you have some, let's say, middle-sized enterprise? And what is their project? They always are manufacturer, or can be different kind of player?
Yes, we have different kind of players. On the Bavarian level, we have especially many SMEs. In this case, nowadays 35 SMEs that are active in Bavaria. On the European side, we have also a few of them, but mainly larger companies. But there are a couple of SMEs as well. Here also more than 30. Yeah, but it's as well. It's a big mixture of big and small companies, because everybody who's really active in power electronics, it's good for them to join the network. And yeah, we're always growing. Just we normally lose members when there's some company fusion, merger.
Yeah, of course.
Now I guess also ABB, they're called now differently. Yeah, just happens sometimes.
And but you might know the situation with production life cycle. What is today's situation in? It's always a shortage of in delivery.
Nowadays it's getting better. At least for power electronics, because now the companies are already concerned about the downturn of the world economy. So I guess the shortage is becoming less of a problem. But this is not true for all cases, because there for a power electronic module are lots of parts, and sometimes some of the parts are really hard to get, and if it's even only a small part, this is a problem for the overall production. But it's in recent months it has become much better. Yeah.
If there are in your network the manufacturer of electrical generator, maybe some of them. Yeah, many of them do that, but as we are more in touch with the research part, it's hard to tell if they have a lot of them available, or
how to get them to Ukraine. But this is something I was thinking about before, and I will if you have some specific requests, we can ask our members. Then they can forward it to the appropriate division. So power generators just in general, or bigger ones or smaller ones?
Yeah, maybe I will explain our situation. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Sure.
So, no, for the moment I cannot.
You cannot?
No. Yeah, now it's okay. So, in fact, maybe you know about this initiative of European Union and the European Cluster Cooperation Platform about support of Ukrainian energy infrastructure, and it was just formed like under European Commission. There are already special bodies, special working group working on this situation, special mechanism, and so on. And typically they are talking about, well, how to restore our energy infrastructure, because the enemy, Russian, they target especially energy distribution network.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes,
substation and so on. And typically, our big national operator care about this distribution network. And of course, we are talking about such equipment like transformer, circuit breaker, but it's mid-high voltage. And typically, production sites are very long. I think they are already in contact with major manufacturing through Europe, through the worldwide. So they look everything like there is a list in this official brochure, which is, let's say, this list is managed by our Ministry of Energy. So we as a Ukrainian Cluster Alliance, let's say, maybe it's not our category we are looking for, because we care more about our member, about SMEs, and at the level of SMEs, typically we are talking about backup supply. This is let's say draft. Well, it will be on our site in maybe tomorrow. But we collected the needs of our clusters, and typically we're talking about like let's say different kind of equipment, just to to ensure the backup supply when there is a disruption of electricity in small workshop, well, it's not like high voltage, it's typically such kind of equipment. So this is small quantity, but anyway it's important because it's real needs of our cluster members. So we coordinate that already with European Commission and with to distribute through European clusters. But I think it's it's the most relevant to the cluster like yours, because of course maybe your member manufacturer of such equipment. So we are not talking obvious about donation as indicated on European here, like in this mechanism. Typically member they can even buy this kind of equipment, but the problem is that we have total lack of in Ukraine of such, especially electrical generator. You cannot find. And in our distribution network, this is also important to understand that typically what was sold before is typically Turkish and Chinese. Well, it's not European, what was before, in sales. So maybe, well, you can just distribute this message. It will be, I think, today or tomorrow, because we're waiting for confirmation from our European colleagues. Just they confirm, I will send you this link and you can distribute it through your network. Maybe they can help somehow. Yes,
that we can do, definitely. And it's very good that you have some concrete demands, not just some overall.
Yeah,
just send us anything you have, but if you have something concrete, that's much better.
Yeah, great.
And moreover, I should add that our government also decreased all these regulations for importing such equipment. So right now it could be easily imported to Ukraine without any additional technical declaration and so on, because it's extremely needed right now. So from last week, we had a new regulation, and this equipment is in a list without any additional certification and technical requirements, regulations. Yes, it could be bring to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, for the future, we can do, I think, some let's say maybe networking events, or just to participate in yours, just because I think typically I think we don't have too much manufacture of power electronic, even if we have I don't know how many, maybe 10, 20, 50, but well, it's not like in Germany, and we also, it can be some kind of cooperation with them. But what I know much better, this is network of our panel builder, system integrator, different kind of engineering company which use power electronics, and maybe well, it makes sense to connect them with your network.
Yes, definitely, because it's not only about the production of power electronics, but also how to use them and how to integrate them into the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Make the overall system work together nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also would like to say that, for example, in our Ukrainian automotive cluster, there is also some companies who produce electronics for automotive sector, and not only automotive sector. And some of them really valuable, really famous in Ukraine, and they already cooperate with European companies. So I think it would be also interesting for them to participate in your network, not only as for cluster, but maybe as a company.
Yes.
We definitely will share the information about our event, and definitely they could participate. I'm sure it would be interesting, because they also, they have production sites, but also the biggest journal magazine in Ukraine, which called Electronic World in Ukraine or something like that. So I will share a link with you. So definitely could be interesting.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, talking about innovation ecosystem, it will be also interesting, because we have maybe not so much at the level of SME, but we have a lot of university connected to our clusters. So, and they are much more active, in the program like Horizon.
Yes.
And university, also scientific institution. I don't know, Fedir, do you see some touch point with power electronics from your experience? It's our guys who worked a lot with scientific institution, but I think he has limited access to microphone, maybe because he's now in a big conference in Kiev.
Okay.
For research focus now, which is his question is.
Oh yeah, this one. This is kind of value chains, because we are interested in power electronics from the start, from the material to making the chip, to making the first modules, to making the bigger power electronic systems, up to the final the final system, like the car or the equipment. So and that's what I thought concerning the universities, that for them to participate in our network is very easy, and also to get access not only through a European funding scheme, but also through our own funding scheme. So just to help them with their daily business and daily expenses. So this is much easier and much faster than waiting for the big money from the European level. That's why I brought this up, because there we have universities from all over Europe, over Europe participating from Spain to Norway to Romania. So why not Ukraine as well?
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Our, of course, as midterm perspective to participating in some common project, it's really interesting, really great, and definitely we would be needed. It's already needed, but in future even more, such as specialized trainings for our not on clusters, for our companies, and definitely it's needed. But the question is, which is urgent and really short-term needs, it's kind of matchmaking between companies. Do you also organize such events or such meetings, or would it be any possibilities of interest? Because right now our Ukrainian companies are definitely looking for more customers and more cooperation with European companies.
This kind of matchmaking we normally don't do ourselves, because there are other players that do that. We have our internal networking event once a year, where all the ECPE members come together, where the industry and also the research institutes come together. But this is not because
and when is planned the next one?
This is always in
oh, I don't hear you.
We use like the European cluster collaboration platform, or also our cooperation partners here in Bavaria, for example, Bayern Innovativ. I guess you have been in contact with them already, because they're a little bigger and they have a better overview of all the players, not only for the power electronics, because normally we know all the power electronic players in Europe, or most of them, and if we get requests, somebody who's good in this topic or that topic, so we can normally connect them directly. But companies that we don't know, it's hard for us to address them. So we don't have this kind of general matchmaking events. And also, of course, when it comes to a special topic, what most of our participants value is also the exchange with other participants, so other companies that attend our events. Because on both ECPE and the cluster side, we have something like 50 events every year. So there we have a lot of networking possibilities.
Okay, maybe other colleagues have some question, Oksana, or there was Anatoly Doleny.
Was quite I'm sorry that we're more research oriented, not practical enough sometimes for your needs, but anyway, I don't want to promise you something that we cannot keep, so we are more on the research side.
It's also very interesting, and for example, we're also partners of VAT manufacturing, and there is also quite big part of universities and research centers which should be included. So definitely, even in such a projects, we do need good partners. So I'm sure it's very important for future cooperation and future projects.
Research project a bit specific in Ukraine, because for our university it's much easier to be integrated into European project and to work with European let's say platform program than to work with Ukrainian industries. Just because we don't have, unfortunately, many programs supporting this collaboration inside of Ukraine, and in opposite, many university and scientific institutions, they know already how to work this European program. And many of them are already integrated into different. Just before this meeting, I had another one where our aerospace university from Kharkiv, HAI, they started to work with Institute Fraunhofer on the development of a center of excellence in Kharkiv in Industry 4.0. You know, how to make digital transformation for aerospace industry in Ukraine.
Okay.
So, but well, I know that they are, let's say, champion in Ukraine, winning different kind of European projects, but there is almost nothing in which, let's say, oriented to collaboration with local industry. So sometimes it's, yeah. But well, this is internal issue. But I think we can we can engage them to your program.
Yeah, but this is how it started also in Germany back when our network was founded. It was the same here, where the industry and the universities, they didn't have a good platform to cooperate, and that's also the main reason our network was founded, in order to facilitate this kind of exchange. And this has been very fruitful for both sides.
Great.
Just the funding, of course, it has to follow. Once the politicians see that this kind of exchange is very fruitful, then they do the funding programs, and then this can take off. But there you need some publicity for this and kind of things. But yeah, now your government is a little preoccupied with other things.
Yeah, that's true. That's for sure. Yeah, we have a representative here of SUME machine building cluster. They are specialized in pump, industrial pump manufacturing. Vladislav, okay. Maybe do you see some touch point with colleagues, ECPE, from your side? Vladislav, are you with us? No connection.
Yeah, sometimes for this kind of pumps, you can have this kind of new power electronics for variable speed drives, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Typically, they should use many of them.
Yeah. So if there are some special requirements or some technology needs, you can always let me know.
Okay. And Oksana Sitnik, I think it makes sense to connect your cluster member with colleagues, ECPE, because you have some big panel builder, and some of them are already located in Europe, in Slovakia. So maybe they will be interested to work with. Okay. So I sent you a signed MOU. So thanks for this opportunity from our side.
Yes, our pleasure.
Yeah, it's a big honor, of course, to be a partner of such a great organization, and I'm pretty sure that it's definitely the first step, as you said, and definitely we will find some possibilities for future cooperation. Without first step, you never will have next one. So definitely thank you so much. Thank you for such open opportunities for us, and definitely looking forward for next steps and next opportunities of cooperation.
Yes, thank you as well for organizing this meeting and for the large participation. Oh, just one second, I have someone at the door. So sorry for that.
It's okay.
No one else in the office. Yes. So thank you very much from my side. I'm looking forward to receiving the list of the technology and the transformators you need, because, you know, here in Bavaria and in Germany, there's a big wish to help, and people are looking for ways how they can help out, and especially if you can show the right direction and the right things that the engineers can provide as well. I think they will be happy to comply.
Yeah.
And to finalize, I have a good and a nice story for you. A friend of mine, he's living in Brussels, and he is producing chocolate.
Yeah.
So organic chocolate, and he has a very good network of all the small chocolate producers all over Europe, and he found some Ukrainian producers and as well, and then they found out, oh, it's a pity they cannot produce chocolate anymore because they do not get any beans, any cocoa beans. And so he thought hard, oh, how to help my chocolate friends, and then he organized a transport of beans to Ukraine. Then during summertime they were producing the chocolate, and now they have the chocolate, and some Ukrainians in Europe, they're now selling the Ukrainian chocolate. So I think it's a very, very nice story how we can help each other out in time of need.
Yeah, typical cluster stories. We have several such in our cluster alliance with textile cluster. What else? It's very close to us. Yeah, this is such kind of story. Thanks, Peter.
Yes, and I also have some chocolate here. So now to celebrate our cooperation, I will some Ukrainian chocolate.
Thanks.
Okay. So we will be in touch.
Yeah. And actually taking into consideration that right now our Ukrainian Cluster Alliance united almost 40 clusters, and from different industries, including agri-food industry. We do have also producers of chocolate in our cluster alliance. So if you would see or hear any interests about Ukrainian products, please feel free to send us such a request. We will just forward it to the proper people, and they will cooperate with your friends, and not only about power electronics, because chocolate is also good topic to work with. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for such a possibilities, for your open for cooperation, and again looking forward for the next steps, and we are always also open to support our clusters, our companies, and if there are any possibilities to do it, we do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So,
bye.
Nice to meet you, Alexander. Until next time.
Nice to meet you, Peter. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Olga.
Thank
See
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.